stars. And as Pastor Dan said, yes, my name is Janori Gale. I am originally from Costa Rica, the beautiful country of Costa Rica. By the way, it's a prerequisite to go to Costa Rica if you want to go to heaven. So as soon as the pandemic is over, book your flight. San Jose is waiting for you.
Just a small thing. If it's possible, let's go to the full screen so that our adventurers would have a full presentation, because at the moment it's in your, if you remember the fourth icon from the bottom of notes, if you go at the bottom right corner, just to the full screen, that would be great.
There you go.
Excellent. Yep. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so here we go. So the requirements for this award, we have 7 requirements. The first requirement is name several stargazers. Okay, identify 1 planet, 2 stars, 3 constellations in the sky at night, and give their correct names. You're supposed to also make a constellation using marshmallows. You should be able to explain the difference between a planet and a star. You should observe the stars and the planets in the night sky. And we're going to make a solar system using Play-Doh. And we'll find 3 texts in the Bible that refers to heaven. Those are the requirements that we will be covering. Let's see, the first one. Name several stargazers from the Bible. The first one, in the Book of Education, page 21, we have that Adam and Eve were stargazers. I can imagine. I mean, this is a brand new sky. Brand new sky. It's in the stars. The Lord, they just came out of his hand. Can you imagine the beauty? I mean, if we have been here in this world of sin, and it's beautiful. Can you imagine when it just came out of God's hands? I cannot imagine that, guys. Adam and Eve were the first one. Abraham in Genesis 15:5. Let's see if we go and go ahead and find it. In Genesis 15:5, we have that, yes, that God, Abraham looked up. Remember, God told him, you're going to have a generation like the children, like the stars in heaven. Can you imagine that? Imagine Abraham's, how he felt that day when the Lord told him, Abraham, don't worry about it. You're going to have a family that is like the stars in heaven. It says, and he brought him forth abroad and said, look now towards heaven and tell the stars if thou art able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. That is God's promise to Abraham. Imagine, he used the stars to tell him, to give him a visual picture of what it is. In the Book of Education, page 52, Joseph is also mentioned as a stargazer. Jesus is mentioned in the Seventh-day Adventist Bible Commentary, volume 5, that he was a stargazer. Imagine the night when he was, the 40 days and 40 nights in the desert when he was fasting. There was not like us now, we go camping and we go stay in tents. Jesus, there was no tents for Jesus. Jesus was there in communion with his Father under the night sky. Then we have Moses. Moses had a lot of time outside in the night sky too, boys and girls, because remember, he used to take he was a shepherd. So when he went out, he had to stay outside. He couldn't go back home. He would stay outside and he would see the night sky. And the wise man, oh, what did God use to imagine? No internet, no WhatsApp, no Facebook, no nothing. God used the first way of communication with the wise man because they were watching up to the sky. And God used these wise men to show them his son that came as a baby. And hallelujah, praise the Lord. Today, he is in heaven interceding for us. Boys and girls, incredible, incredible how the Lord loves us. Here we go. So the second requirement is that you identify 1 planet in our solar system. Here we go. These are the planets in our solar system. Starting closest to the sun, Mercury. This is one over here, the gray looking one. The yellow brownish looking one. Venus. The beautiful one over here. This is one where we live. Earth. Mars. Then Uranus. Jupiter. Saturn with the rings. You see it out here? Then we have Uranus, and the blue one is Neptune, is the farthest one away from the sun. Guys, can you imagine? The Lord sat down and planned this. He planned this because this is not just fell out of the sky. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to make a place for them, a place that it's perfect. It has water, it has trees, it has oxygen, everything, all the requirements that we need to live. If you look through all the other planets, none of them have the requirements necessary for us to live. So let's go again. So we have M for Mercury, Venus, V, E, Earth, M, Mars, J, Jupiter, S, Saturn, U, Uranus, and N, Neptune. Okay? See? 2 stars. The 2 stars, there is so the sun is the nearest star to the earth. We also have another one that we can see clearly in the night sky. In the north hemisphere, at least, it's the North Star. It's called Polaris. And Polaris is a yellow-white supergiant star located around 430 light years away from the constellation of Ursa Minor. So imagine, God said, they're going to need something to keep them warm, something to light them up during the day. And there we go. He made the sun for us. Here we go. We have to name 3 constellations, right? Okay. And our constellation, I picked these. And I'm going to tell you why I picked these. I picked the Ursa Major over here because it reminds us of a bear. I picked Orion, as Sister White says, that when Jesus is coming back to earth, you're gonna see it come, it's gonna look like a fist coming through Orion's belt. We're gonna see it. So if you know that this one over here is Orion, and it's called Orion's belt because it's right here. Orion, it's called a hunter also because it looked like a hunter for them. Then we have the Big Dipper. Okay, and the Big Dipper is in Ursa Major. If you notice right here, the tail of the bear looks like a dipper, something to scoop water out. So that's why I picked these 3 for you guys. So we have Ursa Major, Orion, and the Big Dipper, or 3 constellations. So let's go to the other one. Now, guys, we are going to make our constellation using marshmallows. This is my favorite time because I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to gather all my materials.
And this was in the materials list that was posted earlier this week. So I'm hoping that a whole bunch of you have had the opportunity to collect the little marshmallows. And if you only had access to the big marshmallows, you can actually use a sharp knife and cut them into like 4 or 6 little pieces so that they're not too big and chunky for your toothpicks. So even if you couldn't find the little ones, the big ones will work if you cut them, divide them into 5 or 6 pieces.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Yep. Okay, and if I remember right, you have a camera so that we can see your hands, right?
I'm coming just right now.
Yeah.
Here we are. No putting them in your mouth. I know you're gonna be tempted, but no putting in your mouth. Chicky, no putting in your mouth. So much. So I have a box of toothpicks, and I have marshmallow. Please. Yes. Okay. Now, if you don't have marshmallows at home, boys and girls, You have stickers that look like stars? Those are good too. Okay. If you don't have the marshmallows, you can draw these, the shapes on a piece of paper. And then when mommy gets the marshmallows, then you can do it on do the marshmallows. For right now, whatever you have is what we're gonna use. If you have stickers and you can draw them with stickers. I got it. Here. There you go. My daughter is going to be showing us. Okay, so we're going to make the first constellation. Put on the camera. There you go. And I'm going to mute myself. Okay, ready?
We are ready, and we're going to add that one to Spotlight so that we can see your hands. Good deal.
Okay, here we go. Okay,
so we are looking down at looks like a black sheet of paper.
Yes, it's a black sheet of paper.
Some marshmallows and sticks all put together, it looks like.
Okay, yes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get my marshmallows. Very good, Sue. Okay, we're going to get the marshmallows and we're going to draw. We're going to make first the Big Dipper. Let us make, you know what? Let's make Orion.
Okay.
So here we go. You take one marshmallow, put it in here. On my hands. There we go. Another marshmallow here.
So we're putting the marshmallows on the end of the toothpick so that we can use it kind of like glue to glue the sticks together.
Yes.
Okay.
So now I'm going to take the third toothpick and I'm going to stick it in the right there. Here we go. See there? Boys and girls, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay.
Here
we go. And we're going to make like a little, it's going to look like the A-frame or like the top of a tent. See there? Here we go. Okay. Now we are going to take a third toothpick, and this toothpick we're going to attach it here. See that one there?
Okay, looks like we're building it almost like a square.
We're going to be making it's going to look like yes, like a square. It's going to be a trapezoid, boys and girls. Okay.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. Now, see there? And now I'm going to put the toothpick on this other one. Do you see the trapezoid coming to shape now, guys? See the trapezoid shape here? And I'm going to add here and here. This is the top part. It looks like a house, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, looks like a house. Very good. Okay, so once you have it like that, now in this third one, before we do that, this is Orion's belt. I'm going to need one toothpick in the middle, one marshmallow in the middle to put the 3 stars there, the 3 stars of Orion's belt there. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marshmallows so far. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toothpicks.
There we go.
We got it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on. Now we take another toothpick. We stick it right here in this corner right here. Got it?
Yep.
We get the other toothpick. We add it right here.
So the trapezoid has legs poking out of the bottom.
Yes.
Got it.
You're gonna need two more marshmallows. Okay. Okay. Put this one marshmallow at the end of this toothpick, another marshmallow at the end of this other toothpick. Here we go. And now we're gonna attach the other toothpick to this. Here we go. So now it looks like a house with a square at the bottom.
There we go.
See it?
Now, what's the name of this constellation that we just built together?
This one is Orion.
That's right, Orion.
Right,
And you were
here's
telling us
Orion's belt
earlier,
right here.
the Orion's belt where Jesus is coming back someday through the belt.
Someday.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay. Now this one, let me finish adding something to it because Orion needs his arrow. Remember that?
Oh, yes, because he's a hunter.
He's a hunter. So I'm going to stick one right here. And then I'm going to stick another one right here. And I'm going to get a toothpick. And in that toothpick, I am going to add, boys and girls,
There we go.
I'm going to have I'm going to add 4 new marshmallows to it. Okay.
So you're just putting all of the marshmallows on the toothpick and just pushing them on top of the
Yes.
toothpick. Got it.
Yes. And then this is going to be, let me move this from here, put it right here. Sorry. I'm going to put it right through here.
So put 2 on and then push
And
it
then
through the
2 more.
marshmallow that's on the arm.
To
And
make
then put
it,
2 more on the bottom.
yes, sir.
Got it.
Yep, we're gonna do like 2 more so we can make his bow and arrow. Remember?
Yeah.
See, this is Orion's belt right here. This is his bow and arrow.
There we go.
There we go. And there you got your first constellation. Let me turn it around so you can see. Do you see it better now?
Yep, we sure do. Oh, boys and girls, I hope you have marshmallows and have been able to follow along. The good news is that if somehow Mom didn't get that in her materials list yesterday, guess what? Pastor Dayon has these YouTube videos up this evening at some point, maybe after you go to bed, maybe not, hopefully after you've gone to bed. And he'll have those posted so that you can go back and once you have your supplies and get this finished up, be sure to take pictures and post them, email them to Pastor Dayon, which is dayon@adventist.uk. And he posts them on Wednesdays so that other people can see the art that you have done. So make sure you do that. Love to see the art.
I'm going to move on now. Now, let me go back to sharing my screen. Share. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
It's coming. There you go.
Constellations. Are you, can you guys see me?
And so this looks like there's at least, with the art that we're looking at on this page, it looks like there's at least 6 different ones we could do in addition to the Orion one that we did with you.
Yes. They can fit up. Each one of these circles here is a marshmallow.
Got it.
Which would represent the stars. Okay. Now these toothpicks are imaginary lines. They're imaginary lines in the sky that humans put it so they can remember. Back in the days, they did not know. They made these shapes in their mind. That's, oh, this looks like this. This looks like a dipper. This looks like a lion. This looks like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Because they made imaginary lines. These lines don't exist. Now, we only show you with the toothpicks so you have an idea what you're looking at when you look at the night sky. Okay?
Am I remembering correctly that like Big Dipper was one part of the world? That's what they saw in the sky, and another group saw the Big Bear. And so they kind of now, since it's the same set of stars, they kind of merged it together and we call it kind of both.
Yes, we got Ursa Major now, or we call it the Big Dipper.
But it's the same set of stars, just the lines.
Yes.
What we saw when we looked up in the sky was a little bit different.
Remember now, in the North Hemisphere, they see one set of stars, and the Southern Hemisphere, they see a different set of stars.
Right.
Because of the way the Earth is positioned.
Mm-hmm. And there's some constellations that we all see. I think there's 7. I think I remember from the Pathfinder Honor that there are 7 constellations that everybody sees, north and south, but that there's a lot of constellations that are specific if you live in like Europe and the UK and North America versus Australia and South America.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes. Okay, the difference between a planet and a star.
Ooh.
Okay, a planet. Planets are large natural objects that orbit or travel around a star. But earlier we talked about that the sun is our star. Remember, the nearest star to us is the sun. We orbit or we rotate around it. Okay, that's a planet. We live on planet Earth because planet Earth moves around the sun.
Got it.
That's why we have seasons. That's the reason we have the night and day. Okay, because we're moving around the sun. And stars are giant spheres, super hot gases that are made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. Stars get so hot by burning hydrogen and helium into helium in a process called nuclear fusion. This is what makes them so hot and bright. And our sun is a star.
So in other words, are you saying that we could not go take a spaceship and walk on the sun?
No, sir. We cannot get nowhere close because we'll disintegrate, melt totally. Like when you put marshmallows in fire. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't know about you, Mrs. Gale, but I know that I've been very fascinated with the new Mars rover that just landed on Mars a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I have been. Me too, because guys, this makes me understand. God is not a God of let's make up this plan. God is a God of preparation.
Yep.
When He made Earth, He didn't put us too close to the sun. He know would never survive. He didn't put us too far away. He know would freeze. He put us in the right spot where we could thrive as people. This is incredible. For me, studying this to prepare for this award, I was like, God, God is awesome.
Yep.
Imagine this gas, it's not a solid thing, It's a ball of gas. Can you imagine?
I have a hard time imagining how that works. I know it does. I've read the textbooks, but man, that's just kind of funny, isn't it?
How come it's that? We know that gas dissipates and goes away, but this stays constant.
Yeah.
And it's just burning. God knows that without the sun, our life would be really, really hard. There would be no life on Earth without the sun.
Yep.
And He did that. Imagine He did it. He created it before He created plants, before He created animals, before He created humans. God said, you know what? Let me put the conditions that they need in order to be happy, in order for them we could have a relationship with Him. So let's review again.
And did I hear just a second? Want to ask you something? You said that the sun is a star, so that means that the other stars out there might have planets around them too. We just don't know yet because we can't see them.
It's true. I think, according to what Sister White says, that they are. In the book of Job, it says that all of God's children came to the council.
That's true. That's true.
So
chapter 1 and 2, yeah.
Yes, it says all of God's children, and Satan went in representation of earth. That's why Jesus had to come to earth, because Satan said, I am the Lord of the earth. Jesus came to make sure He knew it wasn't that. Okay, boys and girls?
That's amazing.
So let's recap. We learned then that planets are large objects that orbit or travel around stars. Okay? And that stars are made of super hot gas.
Right? Something on the computer.
I hope it's not making it.
Okay.
Mommy, look what Dan has typed.
Give me just a moment.
That's okay.
Just
and we know that our sun is a star. Okay, let's create the solar system. Now, this one is going to be a little bit more complicated, boys and girls. Okay? Let's see it. Watch a video first. Let's see what's going on.
Let's skip verification. Let's see what happens. little square in the lower right-hand corner. Yep. Okay, go ahead and there we go. Go ahead and close that window. There you go.
There we go.
Cool. And so we're going to be doing we're going to be making that Play-Doh
Yes.
planet
Yes.
set, aren't we?
Just a second, boys and girls. Let's see.
Okay, so boys and girls, make sure you're gathering your material. This is the one where you need that black construction paper as a background for the big sky, and your Play-Doh, and something to write with so you can kind of keep track of the rotation of the planets around the sun.
Okay, let's watch
Okay.
this other video.
Oh, we've got another video to watch while we're at it. Excellent.
Oh, hey guys! It's just gotten dark here, so we're spending a little time before bed looking at the night sky. And sometimes we like to look up at the stars and make up funny stories about the things that we see. Have you ever looked up at the clouds during the day and thought about what they looked like? A duck, an alligator, a shark, or even a bear? Well, people do the same thing with the stars, and they've done so for thousands of years. I'm sure you've noticed on a nice clear night how there are so many stars in the sky, more than you can probably count. Some stars look brighter to us than others, and the darker it is where you live, like if you're really far from the lights of a city, the more stars you can see. And for a long time, people have seen pictures among certain groups of stars, just like connect the dots. These groups of stars are sometimes called constellations, and scientists still use the names of these constellations to describe different parts of the night sky. Probably the most famous group of stars that's easiest to find is the Big Dipper. If you live in the northern hemisphere, you can spot it pretty easily in the northern part of the sky. It's made of 7 bright stars, and if you connect the dots of those stars, you'll see a big, squarish bowl with a really long handle sticking out of it. In the United States, some people thought the stars looked like a big ladle or spoon, so they called it the Big Dipper. But just like the fluffy clouds we were talking about, groups of stars can look different to different people. In Great Britain, for example, the same 7 stars are called the Plough because they were thought to look like a farmer's plow. And people in Germany thought it looked like a wagon. And those same stars also reminded lots of ancient people of a giant bear. Scientists today consider the Big Dipper to be part of a bigger constellation that they call Ursa Major, for Great Bear. The Big Dipper is easiest to find in the summer when it's higher in the sky. But in the winter, you should look for another famous constellation, Orion. The first part that you'll probably see are the 3 bright stars in a row. In ancient Greece, stargazers thought that they looked like the belt of a great hunter. They thought the 2 bright stars above it would be where his shoulders were, and the 2 stars below it, his legs. The more people looked, the more other things they saw. And if you use your imagination and follow the stars from one of his shoulders, you can see another group of stars, like he's holding on to something, like a shield. And what are those fuzzy lights hanging from his belt? Oh, kind of looks like a sword. There's a lot more to Orion than just a few stars. That's why when astronomers talk about constellations, they don't just mean the few stars that might look like something. They also mean all of the other stuff in that part of the night sky. So part of what gives Orion's sword its fuzzy brightness is a distant cloud of gas and dust called the Orion Nebula. That's part of the Orion constellation too. So what if you live in the southern hemisphere? Then keep your eyes open for the crux, the smallest of the constellations. It's still pretty easy to find, especially in the winter, because of the 4 bright stars that make a cross, which is what its name means. The southern hemisphere is also a great place to find Sagittarius, a constellation that reminded ancient Greeks of a creature that was part man, part horse, shooting an arrow. For most people, the easiest way to find it is to look for the 8 stars that make this shape. To me, it looks more like a teapot, but that's why it's fun to make up stories. So the next time that you're outside and it's dark, look up and see if you can find any of these constellations or other groups of stars. Or you could just make up your own. Okay, Squeaks, let's find something that looks like a rat. See you next time on SciShow Kids.
Okay, what fun. I like how she showed us all the different names that constellations can have depending on where we are in the world and what we saw when we looked up in the skies. My guess is that the adventurers are just about as creative as those people from a long time ago and could look
Yep.
at the sky and find some constellations and give them some names that are brand new. I bet you we could do that kind of thing and have some fun doing it.
I bet you. Okay. Now,
Well, that should have given everybody time to collect all the Play-Doh stuff, right?
all that Play-Doh stuff that they need at this time.
Yay, let's have some fun.
Okay. Here we go. Let's have some fun. Okay, boys and girls.
No, you're currently still on the video. You need to be over
Yes,
back on the
that
PowerPoint, right?
Yep. And there we go. Okay. So at this time, we are going to be doing the Play-Doh. So I'm going to stop sharing. And Mr. Mark, we're going to go to my phone now.
Okay, so we're going to look and watch as you create like we did just a moment ago. That's
A
good.
moment
Go ahead
ago.
and
Okay.
stop the share. Go ahead and stop the share on your, actually, I've got it. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to talk to the parents at this time. Parents, if you don't have brown Play-Doh, if you don't have brown Play-Doh, you're going to do what I did. I mix brown, yellow, red, and blue. When I mix together yellow, I got this color. It looks like black, but it's in reality it's brown. So if you don't have brown, it's okay. Just take, I'm gonna show you, one piece of blue.
Okay, and your hand camera is not on yet, so we're not seeing that one.
No. Can you see it now? Can you see me now? No, it's not.
Nope, not yet. Oh, there it is.
Okay, good. Okay, there we go. So I took a
Okay,
piece
so
of
we see
black,
some bluish Play-Doh on
blue.
your right hand.
took a piece of blue, a piece of yellow, and a piece of red. And I'm gonna mix them together. Mix them together, mix them together, mix them together.
Okay. The
See that?
person holding your phone camera, can you have them point a little bit more at your hands, a little bit higher? Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
And as you see, as I mix them together, the colors are gonna start changing. Mom and Dad, if you see if it looks to you like it's too blue, go ahead and add a little bit more yellow. Okay. If you see it starts to change, you see how quick it starts to change? Add a little bit more red. And just continue to knead it with your hands until you get the brown color that you're looking for. Because usually Play-Doh don't come in brown, okay? It doesn't come in brown. I'm gonna add a little bit more red and continue to doing this. See there? You see it start changing the color already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for Mercury, we're gonna need black and white, okay? For Mercury, we're gonna need black and white. I'm gonna put this aside. I'm putting it in a Ziploc bag. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside. Remember to keep your Play-Doh in a airtight lid container because it goes dry. I put mine right now in a Ziploc bag. So I'm gonna start making the the constellation right here. See here, I'm gonna go ahead. Look what I did, parents. I took a piece of yarn. I know you call it yarn. This is the thread that we used to make tamales. That's all I know. So I put it here in the middle. I took a piece of chalk. See there? And I traced my line.
Sweet.
See
And by
that?
the way, adventurers, Miss Gill is going to be moving probably faster than you can just because of our time commitments to the other award. But no worries. Again, it's on YouTube, so you
Yeah.
can touch base with it later and finish up your craft. No problem.
And then I continue to make my lines.
And you'll need a total of 8 lines, right?
8 lines. So now I have 4. Let me do the other 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go.
There we go.
Now, see my lines are made there. You can use a white crayon. I use a piece of chalk because I realized that the crayon wouldn't show. Now, I'm gonna start with the sun. Take a ball of yellow,
Uh-huh.
circle, massage it really well, make a circle. I'm gonna make it a little bigger, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bigger because I want to show, like, because it looks in comparison to the planets. See there, boys and girls?
The sun's really big, right?
The sun is really big. See there? And I'm gonna put a little dots of orange in it because the sun has looks like little dots of orange on it.
There we go.
Here we go.
Okay, and because we're running with just a few more minutes left, Mrs. Gill, are there any tips or tricks that you want to make sure that we know as we finish up the craft, just in case, because we probably won't all get to finish it together here? What should we make sure that we understand?
Understand, here are your planets. Okay, here are your planets. Now, remember, you're gonna make all the 8 planets. So you're gonna have Mercury in the first one, first orbit, Venus in the second one, Earth is gonna be here. And remember, try to make Earth blue. Try to make Earth the same size. Try to make it blue. And let me show you how I did my Earth. I put it right here, and then I took some green. I took some green to make the shape of the continents.
Oh,
Remember?
there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so you put green, so you remember the continents, and we put it over here. Another one over here. And another one over here.
There we go.
And this will be planet Earth, right? Then we have Mars. Mars is red.
And it's smaller than the Earth.
And it's smaller than the Earth, so I'm gonna make a smaller circle. See here? So Mars is red. I'm gonna put it right over here. And I'm gonna put a little bit of brown that I already made. Okay? Mars with a little brown. A little brown. Then
when I make the craft, I think I'm going to put the Mars rover on Mars just because.
I put Mars rover, and then we have Jupiter, and Jupiter is brown. Brown, okay, and here we have brown. I'm going to make Jupiter. I'm going to make the brown, and I'm going to make a big. See here? Here we go.
Jupiter's the biggest one, isn't it?
Biggest one. Mm-hmm. Here we go. And then Jupiter, we're going to put some white stripes over it. So we have some white lines are over it. Wait, hold on, let me put it right here. Here we have it. And we take it and we put a white stripe over it. Right
There
here.
we go.
There we go. And
So
then
you made a little Play-Doh snake to make the lines, right?
so we make the line, and then we have a blue line
Ooh.
right there. Then we have a white line. Here we go. Right here. Right here. And then we have a blue one. Okay. Here we have the blue one. Okay, here are, this is Jupiter. Now we have Saturn, and Saturn is yellow. Okay. Okay, so we put Saturn is yellow. Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go.
Not quite as big as Jupiter, but not too much smaller either.
Not either. There we go.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have an orange. It's gonna have a white stripe over it. A
Okay.
white stripe over it.
Have your phone camera zoom out just a little bit so we can see Saturn. There we go.
So we have a white line here, right here. Then we have a white line at the bottom. Also. Here we go. Then we have a piece of brown in the middle.
That big belt thing, right?
Big belt thing. And then we have an orange. There we go. The brown here. And then what we're gonna do is take a piece of orange, and we're gonna put it around it. Like this.
Sweetness.
There we go. See there? This is Saturn's belt. See there, guys?
Yeah. Oh,
There we
that's
go.
pretty
There's
fun.
the Saturn. And then we
Uh-huh.
have Uranus, which is blue. And Uranus, which is blue over here.
Uh-huh.
There we go. And our last planet would be Neptune. And Neptune, boys and girls, is blue and with white on it. Okay, so we have Neptune over here, and we'll take some white dots and put on it. There we go. This would be our Neptune.
What fun.
There we go. So we have now, remember, you have to remember the names of the planets. Mercury, starting nearest to the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.
Yep.
You see there, boys and girls? Now, all you have to do is take a little piece of paper, some strips of paper, and label the different parts of our solar system. Label them, and once you label them, you will be able to take a picture and send it to your director so that they can see that you completed the astronomer requirement. One thing that I want you to understand, boys and girls, in this award, one of the things that I want you to remember is I'm going to stop sharing with my camera now, and I'm going to go to my turn it off. Okay, thank you. One of the things that I need you to remember, boys and girls, is God in his God was so marvelous when he created this. Here we have, there's some Bible verses that talk about heavens. Isaiah 13:10, the stars of heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. Your ancestors, Deuteronomy 10:22, your ancestors went down into Egypt where 17 all, and now the Lord your God has made them as numerous as the stars in the sky. And Genesis 1:16, God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. So their parents, words for parents and directors, make sure you take the children outside so that they can see the moon, the stars, and the constellation as soon as it's warm enough in England anyway, over there in the British Union. And with this, you would completed your award of astronomy. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you so much for all that. We have to thank the Lord for all that he has done for us. In every way, he shows his love.
Okay, adventurers, feel free to unmute yourself and give Miss Gail a round of applause. Can we do that? Yay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stellar, thank you. How
Thank
awesome
you.
is that?
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so be sure to go out tonight or the next night that it's not cloudy. And parents, there's this wonderful app that we use in our family called Sky Guide. It's great for helping you figure out what's up there in the skies around you. Oh, thank you so much. That was
You're
fun.
welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.